Connecticut. The Melonheads. Thomas was the kind of man who liked to call urban legends regional nonsense. He'd spent a decade debunking cryptid myths on YouTube, filming grainy footage and overlaying it with sarcastic narration, mocking blurry photos and breathless eyewitnesses. His latest project brought him to Connecticut specifically, a winding, tree-choked stretch of road in Fairfield County called Velvet Street. Locals had another name for it: Dracula Drive. The legend was old. A group of deformed, bald-headed humanoids, melonheads, supposedly lived in the woods, products of government experiments, or twisted asylum escapees, depending on which version you heard. The stories dated back to the 1940s. Thomas thought it was all perfect clickbait. He arrived just before dusk in a rented Jeep, cameras mounted on the dashboard, drone in the trunk, mic clipped to his jacket. He narrated as he drove, voice steady. "I'm here in the middle of nowhere, following the infamous Dracula Drive route. Legend says if you go down this road after dark, you'll hear rustling in the trees, see movement at the edges of your vision, and if you're unlucky enough, maybe you'll meet one of the melonheads themselves." The trees on either side of the road leaned in unnaturally, as if trying to swallow the Jeep whole. The late October sun vanished quickly behind the leafless canopy. About 5 miles in, his engine sputtered. He cursed. The gas gauge had dropped from half to empty in minutes. Then the Jeep died completely. The silence that followed was suffocating. He restarted it. Nothing. He opened the hood and poked around, but there was no clear issue. Then he heard it. Thump. From the woods. He swung around. Nothing there. Branches swayed, though there was no wind. He scanned the trees. Thump. Closer. He grabbed his flashlight and camera, stepping into the woods on foot. Leaves crackled under his boots. Everything else was silent. Then something darted between the trees. A small, pale shape. He raised the camera. Gotcha! When he reviewed the footage, it was already gone. He walked deeper into the forest. Soon, the Jeep was out of sight. That's when the laughter started. High-pitched, childlike, dozens of voices. He spun, breath fogging in the cold air. And there they were, watching, half hidden behind trees. Short figures maybe 3 feet tall. Huge heads like pale, stretched balloons. Eyes wide and black. Mouths small, twitching. They didn't move, just watched. He took a step back. One of them mimicked it exactly. Then another. Then they all moved forward in perfect sync. He turned and ran. Branches lashed at his face. He dropped the flashlight. The laughter followed, warping and rising into a shriek that echoed through the trees. He found a clearing with a rotting cabin in the middle. The door swung open as if expecting him. He didn't hesitate. Inside, it smelled like damp wood and something far worse, old blood and mold and meat left to rot. The walls were covered in drawings, crude stick figures with massive round heads. Some were bleeding, some were eating. One drawing showed a man, mouth stitched shut, eyes crossed out. Footsteps scurried across the roof. Then came a knock at the window. He turned and saw one staring in, upside down, its head pressed to the glass. It opened its mouth and screamed. The window shattered. He ran for the back of the cabin and slammed the door behind him, heart hammering. There was a stairwell leading underground. A trap door, no choice. He descended into the darkness. The basement was larger than it should have been, with dirt walls and flickering lanterns that hadn't been lit in decades. In the far corner, something moved. Not one of them something worse. A man, tied to a chair, barely breathing. His eyes opened. "They don't let you leave." Thomas untied him, but the man was too weak to stand. "They eat your voice," he whispered. "Then your thoughts. Then they wear your skin and walk back into your world." Thomas felt it then, something crawling in his mind, like tiny hands gripping his skull from the inside. He screamed. The man in the chair reached up and pressed his hand at Thomas's forehead. "Run. Before they choose you." Thomas stumbled up the stairs. The cabin was burning. Dozens of melonheads surrounded it, chanting in a language made of wet clicks and reversed whispers. They parted as he ran through them. He didn't look back. He found the Jeep, still dead, but intact. He slept in it with a crowbar in his lap and didn't move until morning. When daylight came, the Jeep started on the first try. He drove back to town in silence. His footage was gone. The camera had melted, literally melted. No one believed him. He never posted another video. He moved to a small apartment in the city, stopped returning messages, stopped speaking at all for a time, until one day, a new channel appeared online under his old username. Just a black screen, with the sound of children laughing. Like and subscribe.